Let's take a look at what happened again. Here they are moving off of corner number 2. Watch the right of your screen.
Mike Skinner and Tony Stewart right in here are going to make contact. And somehow they get in the grass. And Skinner turns right across the racetrack. There we see Jeff Gordon coming directly into him. All of a sudden, Gordon loses control, goes up, pam, hits the wall, and Rusty Wallace and also Ernie Irvin drive in the right side of Jeff Gordon's car. There we see Chad Little spinning down to the inside. John Kernan. There we see him at the very end of the line, and he spins. I guess the right rear tire goes down. He spins, goes around, goes up, and smacks the wall just barely with the right front. Something broke on the car that caused Labonte to spin.
A lot worse than it turned out to be.
Bobby Hamilton goes in the corner. Robert Presley was the other car that spun around.
And luckily, everybody behind him was able to get to the bottom of the racetrack and avoid hitting him.
It's hard to see if there's any contact between the 4 and it doesn't appear there's contact. Looks like he just went in behind the 4 car, took the air off the spoiler, and Hamilton goes around. But let's check him, Wally. Here we see Benson just all by himself going in turn 3 and backs in the fence hard.
Johnny had a good run here last year starting.
There we see Rudd going in the corner, and there's where he smacks the wall. And look at the oil as it dumps on the exhaust, catching on fire briefly. But the oil stops coming out, and the fire does go away as Rudd takes his car towards pit road. And it's obvious there's oil on the racetrack, and I would get
the original problem was
the blue car on the outside is Robert Presley. On the inside of 16, LePage, and I can't tell if there's contact. I guess there's a slight bump between LePage and Presley. Presley goes around, makes some contact with the outside retaining wall, and how Jeffrey Bodine managed to cut down the right front tire, I'm not exactly sure.
Look up ahead out of here, out of the windshield of Wally Dallenbach, as he gets slowed down, and you can see the accident already happened.
Here he is just trying to make a pass on the inside of the 40 car, and there we see he goes up, just gets a little bit loose on these other guys. I don't think there was any contact at all, and barely backs it in the fence. Tough break in 19. About every race.
Here it is again. This is going into turn 3.
And yes, there was a little bit of contact. The 1 car hitting the 30 car, and the round coat goes hard into the wall, and apparently that cut the tire on Steve Hart's car. We'll watch it again here.
So it hurt both cars because the right front went down in the race. Here is the replay of what happened.
He had been slowing down, and he goes down to turn 1, and you see the right front tire goes flat. And when it does, it drops down on the suspension, the exhaust. That's all the sparks you see. And there's nothing Andretti can do except go right in the wall, and that's what he did. Boom.
Now from Rusty Wallace's onboard camera, here's what happened with Ricky Rudd. Oh, wow.
Rusty Wallace lost the right, Ricky Rudd lost the right front tire and took Rusty.
This is what caused the caution as Jeff was in the pits originally. On the left side of your screen, there it is.
He just spun around. We heard him talking to his spotter, and he said that he thought he hit an oil slick or something, a slick spot on the track. He said, I don't know what happened.
And Dale Jarrett, our first, second, and third. Here's what happened. It was up in turn number 2.
And
I guess he really didn't hit it, did he? Kept it away from the wall.
He was very fortunate.
Yep.
Kind of happened at the very top of the screen. There we see Skinner go up and back in the fence. Now Skinner comes off the racetrack. He's going to come down right in front of the traffic. And there we see, we're going to see the 36 car come down and probably make contact with Spencer.
There's how LePage got the damage on his left front. Bill Elliott, however, drove through it, and we'll go right with him. Skinner is
off the corner. Don't know if he got into some jam there with Park and the others.
Looked like Steve Park in the one there, just off the corner there. Sometimes you'll lose momentum. It looked like Park may have just touched.
Watch there in the middle of your screen.
Oh, contact right there into the outside wall.
Actually,
you see Pardis gets hit, turned around there.
It was Craven who actually impacted the wall first.
Pardis and Craven got together. That's what did it.
Ricky Craven's gone directly to the garage area. There it is again. But on first replay, it looked like Craven might have tagged the wall first and then nudged it apart. It's tough to tell.
Well, getting in the corner there, the second car going in the corner there was touched.
Up front, Bobby Hamilton inside of Dale Jarrett. Tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, it looked like the back end just came out from underneath it.
Then Burton spins to avoid Jarrett, and old Ricky Rudd has absolutely nowhere to go.
No, and they did talk it over in a friendly sort of way, these two drivers.
And no finger pointing or anything like that. Watch there.
Looks like he just lost it.
It really does.
Yeah.
If Bobby Hamilton got him, it was by an eyelash, but it was so very tough to tell. Maybe the overhead view, maybe we can see from the... Well, it had already happened there.
And it's hard to say why he lost it. There could have been a mechanical failure or tire could have... there's the hit.
Ricky Rudd pulled down off the racetrack, running probably 185 miles an hour there, down on the flat part of the racetrack. He had done it.
You see Bobby's already back to third.
Still slowing down.
Ernie bounces off the wall.
Mark Martin going round and round down the back straightaway.
Watch again. Watch the yellow car on the outside. That's Ernie Irvin in the 36.
Okay, right there. Mark Martin got in the back of the 18, but Ernie Irvin on the outside had no contact whatsoever. He got sideways coming off turn 2.
Boy, Ernie Irvin hit that inside wall very hard.
Watch it again. Mark Martin spinning once. Look at Sterling Marlin just getting through. He had come from 11th to 5th. And Sterling just got through in the 40.
Eli, look at the 20 car of Tony Stewart. He goes right through the middle of the wreck. Somehow he...
In 4. Somebody got tapped.
Yeah, I wonder if he got a little help in that deal.
Yeah, well, you can see Bickle got touched there. Goes around.
Kyle
gets turned around. Oh, my, did Chad Little in the green car come very close to collecting Kyle Petty there.
And you saw Johnny Benson in that yellow car go down pit road. There is no speed limit on pit road when there's an accident. There is when there's a normal caution flag.
Look at this. That's Chad Little in the green and yellow car there. Almost collecting the 44, Kyle Petty, right on the front straightaway.
Yeah, there's
the
Benson.
Right Saint.
See there, Jeffrey Bodine goes in on the bottom side. You see our leader, Jeff Burton, just behind him. Now you watch Bodine. The back end just starts around. He makes contact with the two of Rusty Wallace, both of them sliding in front of our race leader. He goes to the bottom of the track. They make contact there.
That's a good description of loose. Real loose. Way too loose. Here it goes again. On the bottom, Jeffrey Bodine. Tail end comes right out. He collects Rusty on the high side. Watch Wallace will come down now. Here's where Rusty gets the front end damage right there.
Look at Dale Jarrett up here in the smoke. Just barely getting through there. He really got on the binders hard.
We're going to go for a ride with Dale Jarrett, and this ought to be quite the ride. Hang on.
Watch the visibility as we go in this cloud of smoke.
Oh! It looked like he was heading right for it, buddy.
Boy, I've been there before. I'll tell you. I knew that was going to be.
And here's the replay.
Steve Park comes right on the bottom of the racetrack. Comes up, makes contact right there.
It almost looked as if he was trying to get around a car that was headed toward the pits and just sort of lost the balance of the race car. Something happened. He was clearly on old tires. He had to come in and pit within a lap or two.
There it is again.
But
it was just before that when it began. It was Jeremy Mayfield where it started. It was a little further up the track.
what it is. They call that a narrow push. As he started off the corner.
That's already underway.
Already underway there.
That's where Burton got all the damage in the front end. He hit the wall.
That's Jeff Burton right down there as he slides in front of all these cars. In some way, everybody missed him as they come towards him there. You see cars going out in the grass to avoid him.
That's why they call them the best drivers in the world. It happens directly in front of that bunch right there. I guess Wally and Jeff must have tangled.
Look at Mark Martin and the 6 just go by as the 25 car Dallenbach spins. That's a very, and Jeff Gordon and all the guys, look at them jumble up there.
One more look right there in the aftermath of the accident.
Watch the 43 there of John Andretti. A lot of cars very close to getting involved in that wreck.
A lot of other guys, Glenn.
You can see when the right front tire blows out. Right there, he takes off. You can see the black marks hard into the outside wall. We have several angles. One where it just shows the tire exploding as he goes into the corner.
And here comes that look. Watch it here.
Okay, right there. You can see the right front just exploded, and he's on his way there. You see him lock the brakes up as he goes up. These black marks right there go right straight up into the wall.
And that is right at 200 miles an hour. It may not look it sometimes because it is such a wide and long straightaway. It's right around that shifting point and so on. It really is a tough spot. Drivers have one hand on the steering with vicious hit. He and Brett were together.
Oh,
man.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Holy cow.
Christmas. Wow.
He almost got that thing upside down.
You don't think they carry some speed around this flat racetrack?
Whoa.
I tell you what, that screen right there on that window saved his life just then. I saw his head where he got up into the wall. Breaks loose right there. On the driver's side, goes up hard into the outside wall.
Started with 3 wide. Can't do that here at Pocono. Can do it on the straightaway, right? This big.
With Michael Waltrip behind him.
You can see Darrell Waltrip. That's Terry Labonte right there. Michael Waltrip in the 7. Gets into the back of him. Makes him wiggle just a little bit. He spins there. He did not collect the wall, though. He just spun around and down to the inside of the racetrack. Watch the 7 car. Michael Waltrip right here. He nudges him.
That's all she took.
Doesn't take much here. Really doesn't.
Whoa!
Andretti. John just missed him.
John is very good in those situations. He is about as good as anybody at avoiding trouble. He went through that wreck early on here in the race on lap number 2. Went right through a whole bunch.
Yeah, I'm just glad he didn't try to refire it. There was some seepage out of that tank.
Little pinball machine action there.
That's Bill Elliott there. It looks like on the outside. They made a little contact.
And you see Musgrave there on the right after he got touched by Michael and ends up in the grass. Bobby Labonte's car.
Okay, that's Darrell Waltrip, Steve Park under him there.
Well, we didn't see it, but one would assume there was a short shoot. banking off the wall.
Ward Benson tangled together. See John Andretti backed it into the wall.
We'll see what Kenny Irwin saw here. Let's watch. It has already taken place. We saw him go through the grass.
Wow. You hear the car bottom.
Yeah, it's bottoming out. Well, he goes.
Look here what happened. Steve Parker's going to come to watch as he backs in the fence.
Overturns completely in the air, comes down on all four.
Looks like those guys at the X Games, the way they do those skates. Wow.
Man, oh, man.
That was a result of the spin. Let's see if we can see what happened.
He goes in the corner, and I guess right there he got tapped by Schrader, looks like. And around he goes. Bill Elliott gets in the dirt over there.
Yeah. So that's going to put him way back in 39.
See what happened to Derek Cope.
Comes in the corner, and all of a sudden, the car just goes straight, like the left front tire might have been down or something. He drives into the tires and just drives right through them.
And up on the bank now from the onboard. State Fair Corn Dog on board. There he comes.
Just like the one car, Steve Park backing in the.
Martin goes off course, but doesn't really lose anything because of it.
No, and then Bobby Labonte, the green car, watch him. He comes down through there, and he has too much speed. He's either going to knock Joe Nemechek off the racetrack or either get into those tires. And he chose to get into the tires and still hits Nemechek a little bit.
And then Nemechek comes off the corner and spins. I'm assuming one of the tires is flat, but I'm not sure.
Probably so.
Now from Ricky Rudd's onboard camera. It's Labonte and Nemechek just ahead of him.
Nemechek and Labonte both smoking tires, trying to get their cars slowed down. Both got in the corner a little bit too hard. So Ricky Rudd will move up to 4th spot now. Oh, man. What'd they put tires there for, Bobby said?
He sends them bouncing.
And look at the damage he has on the front of that Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
And I guess Nemechek did not cut down the tire. I guess he just tried to gas it off the corner and spun around.
He just wanted to get on out of there. And it
happened. It's up in front of the. There we see Rudd, and here's going to come Ward Burton, and across the racetrack comes. Wow, and and we see Jeremy Mayfield's going to have some damage as well.
He got hit on the front as well as looked like up on the deck lid.
Ward Burton's car got airborne before coming back down on all four.
Now watch Rusty Wallace. He's going to miss a corner here. Right there, Rusty goes straight, and when he comes back on the racetrack, Ricky's trying to avoid him and runs off in the dirt himself and just cannot ever get him back under control.
And then boom, there's the impact with Burton, who goes down and slams hard.
There's Mayfield going around. Dallenbach brushed the wall.
That's Jimmy Spencer hitting the wall there. He goes the entire front straightaway right against the wall there, rubbing that car right against the outside wall.
And look at Elliott Sadler, out of control coming down pit road, but he came down pit road.
Yeah, Jimmy Spencer, Wally Dallenbach tried to catch up to Miss Mayfield, got sideways, brushed the wall.